All right, guys, welcome back to another week. So we're starting a new unit. The unit is going to be all about something called polynomials. And so today we're not going to go into any math stuff. We're just going to talk about how to name a polynomial or what we call different polynomials. So I'll actually show you examples before we get into that. A polynomial, poly means multiple, and nomial means refers to number. So polynomial means many numbers or multiple numbers. These are all examples of polynomials. Essentially, they're just expressions. And in these cases, you can see they all are different types of polynomials. This one just has, or these two just have one term. They have a different power. That one has a 2. That one, there's no power there, so it's a 1. All of these have a different number of powers. All of them are a little bit different. So, we are going to basically just learn how to name them, or what we call different types of polynomials. There's a difference between all of these. And so there are two things that you have to name them by. So we name them by degree and by the number of terms. So the first definition, the degree of a polynomial refers to its highest power, or biggest exponent, or whatever else. So, for instance, in this example, 5a to the, well, that would be a 1, so the highest power there is a 1. If you look down here, the 7b squared minus 8b plus 1, the highest power right here, well, there's no power here, so there's a 1 there, there would be a 2 there, but that means right there, that means that the highest power is a 2, because 2 is obviously bigger than 1. Something like over here on number 6, you can see that there's a 2, a 3, and a 5. The 5 is the highest power, so that degree, the degree of that function, or the degree of that polynomial is a 5. Okay, so there are words for all of these things. Naming things based on degree, we'll go through those different terms. But naming something, a first degree function, you've seen those before. Those are called linear polynomials. So a linear is something that makes a line. You don't have any squareds. You don't have any cubes, anything else like that. So when you have a linear polynomial, that should, if you were to graph it, it would make a line, so it's linear. The weirdest word that we're going to learn here is quadratic. Something that has a squared on it, like this one, example 3, that's called quadratic, because the highest power is squared, so that's kind of a weird word. A third degree polynomial, well, that is going to be a cubic polynomial. And a fourth degree polynomial is called a quintic. You know what? We won't do those. Everything, we'll just start using a rule for you guys. Everything above fourth degree and above, we'll just call that fourth degree. So, fourth degree, fifth degree, sixth degree, etc., etc. The next thing that we're going to have to name these after is number of terms. So we're just going to have to count the terms as well. So this one has one term, number 2 has one term. It says 1, 2, 3 terms, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then obviously more. So when you're naming things based on number of terms, if you have one term, that is called a, well, we'll use a fancy word for 1, that means monomial. Monomial. So that means that there is one term. A 2-term polynomial is called a binomial, because bi means 2, so there are 2 terms. A 3-term polynomial is called a trinomial. So that means that there are, tri means 3, so trinomial means 3. And then 4 and later, we'll just call those polynomials, so multiple. Anything 4 or greater, we'll just use a catch-all term. We'll just say that is a polynomial. You could be more specific and say polynomial with 4 terms, but you won't have to do that. So, for instance, this example, it has degree 1 because there's that's the only power there, and it's also a monomial because there's only one term. So you would call this a linear monomial. For this one, Oh, did not double click. That one would be a monomial. Nope. Nomial. There we go. That is a quadratic monomial because it is squared and there's only one term. Here, example number 3, the highest power is a squared, so that is also quadratic, and that is a trinomial because there are 3 terms. For this one, this is a, well, that's cubic because the highest power is a 3, so cubic trinomial. And down here, quadratic trinomial. So even though the highest power isn't the first term, it doesn't really matter because the highest power is that squared. So that's still quadratic, and there are 3 terms. And we'll call this a fifth polynomial. So 5 is the biggest number, and there are 4 or more terms, so we're just going to call it a polynomial. You don't have to be more specific than that. So that is how you do things with polynomials. That's how you name them. So today, if you can just go through these, I would recommend maybe making a table and writing down these, just first, second, third degree, fourth degree, and 1 term, 2 term, 3 terms. Copy down those words, just combine them correctly, and that's how you describe them. If you have any questions, please see me during my office hours, and good luck on your homework, guys. Have a good day.